What if the reason you're not getting the results you want isn't because you're not handsome enough, tall enough, or rich enough, but because you're violating a handful of psychological rules that attractive men quietly live by every single day without announcing them? If in the next few minutes you could install 7 rules that upgrade your presence, flip the social script in your favor, and make your attention feel rarer and more valuable, would you do it? This isn't about tricks, lines, or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about aligning your behavior with what research in psychology, evolutionary biology, communication science, and game theory has shown again and again. Humans are magnetized by signals of self-command, selective generosity, grounded confidence, and emotional stability. From David Buss's findings on mate preferences to Robert Cialdini's principles of influence, from Mark Manson's radical honesty to stoic self-mastery, the patterns are consistent. Attractive men transmit the same 7 signals in different outfits. Master these, and you will notice quieter tests, stronger respect, more curiosity, cleaner flirtation, a calmer nervous system, and an unmistakable rise in how others respond to you. Start by accepting a hard truth. Attraction is not a debate you win with logic. Attraction is a perception you create with behavior. You can argue that you're a good man. You can list your qualities. None of that changes the fact that attraction scans for one thing first: your relationship with yourself. If you're attached to outcomes, if you chase validation, if you over-explain, apologize excessively, or give your time freely to anyone who asks, you are signaling low internal value no matter what you say. That's why every rule you're about to learn starts with inner governance and then moves outward to communication, boundaries, and calibration. You will speak less but say more. You will do less but achieve more. You will become the man whose presence is felt before his opinions are heard. And when you combine that with honest desire and ethical intent, you become dangerously attractive without ever being manipulative. Rule 1. Self-command before connection. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Attractive men manage attention the way elite athletes manage energy, intentionally and in cycles. Research on self-determination theory by DC and Ryan shows that humans thrive when their behavior is aligned with autonomy, competence, and relatedness. If you walk into an interaction with autonomy already intact, you chose to be here, you are not negotiating with your own neediness, you project a calm that people feel. Competence comes from skills and standards in your life. You train. You read, you create, you deliver. Relatedness is how you connect. Eye contact, warmth, shared humor. If you skip self-command and chase relatedness, you leak value. So prime your nervous system before you speak. Slow your inhale, longer exhale. Roll your shoulders back. Unlock your knees. Relax your jaw and tongue. Lift your sternum 2 centimeters. Place your feet shoulder width. When you speak, lower your pace by 10%. When you listen, keep stillness in your torso and let your facial expressions carry the engagement. Amy Cuddy's early power posing research sparked debate, but follow-up work across nonverbal communication is clear. Expansive, relaxed postures affect how others perceive your status and how you feel about yourself. Do this not to fake confidence, but to embody it. In practical terms, pause before you answer, eliminate filler, and let silence frame your words. The message beneath the message becomes, "I am not rushing to be chosen. I choose." Rule 2. Build a value-dense life and let attraction be a byproduct. Jeffrey Miller's sexual selection thesis highlights that humans display costly signals, indicators of underlying quality that are hard to fake. For men, those signals are often competence, creativity, generosity under constraints, and long-term consistency. Cal Newport calls it deep work. Mark Manson calls it non-neediness. Cialdini would frame it as authority and consistency. The attractive man curates his calendar like a jeweler curates a showcase. If an activity lifts your energy, sharpens your mind, builds your body, or expands your network with people you respect, it stays. If not, it goes. Replace random scrolling with a training block. Replace passive consumption with creation. Replace vague goals with weekly targets and public accountability to yourself. You're not doing this to impress anyone. You're doing it because a life full of tensionless comfort erodes masculine edge. David Buss's cross-cultural research consistently ranks ambition, industriousness, and stability as desirable in mates. Translate that into daily behavior. Choose one hard skill you will be known for, one sport that challenges your body, one creative outlet that feeds your soul, and one service to others that isn't about applause. When your schedule communicates direction, your presence communicates direction without words. People can feel when you have somewhere to be and something to protect. Rule 3. Selective availability, not aloofness. Scarcity is powerful, and Cialdini's principle is one of the most replicated in behavioral science. But here's the nuance attractive men understand. Scarcity works only when paired with genuine warmth and credibility. If you're just unavailable, you look cold or insecure. If you're only warm, you look eager. The sweet spot is warm when present, unreachable when absent. In practical terms, when you interact, be fully there. Phone away, eye contact, micro-smile, playful curiosity. Ask layered questions, reflect back key words, and find shared frames. Then, when it's time to leave decisively and with purpose. Communicate your standards without apology. I'd like to keep this simple. I don't text all day. If you want to grab coffee this week, pick a day and we'll lock it in. This isn't a script. It's a standard. You're not playing games or withholding affection. You're protecting your attention so that your affection remains meaningful. Attractive men understand that attention is a currency. Inflation kills its value. Make your yes rare, your no clean, and your maybe short-lived. Rule 4. Calibrated boldness. Neil Strauss wrote about techniques in social dynamics. Mark Manson countered with the idea that the most attractive strategy is honesty with tact. The synthesis is calibrated boldness. You are willing to initiate, you are willing to risk rejection, and you're skilled enough to read feedback and adjust. Evolutionary psychology suggests that women often prefer men who can take initiative while remaining socially intelligent. Dominance balanced by prestige, as Joseph Henrich and Francisco Gil White framed it. That means you don't wait for perfect signals, you create them. Open with something simple and grounded. Hi, I'm going to be direct. You caught my attention and I wanted to say hello. Then you shut up, hold the eye contact, relax your mouth, and let the moment do some work. If you get open body language, reciprocal curiosity, and questions back, you escalate the conversation with specifics. If you get short answers, closed posture, or polite smiles without investment, you exit with grace. Boldness without calibration is blunt. Calibration without boldness is timid. Combine both, and you project a rare mix. Safe and exciting. Remember John Gottman's research on bids for connection. Healthy bonds form when bids are made and turned toward. Your job is to make clean bids and read responses accurately. Rule 5. Emotional leadership under stress. Attraction peaks when safety and arousal coexist. That is impossible if you collapse under pressure or explode when challenged. The Gottman Institute's work on physiological flooding shows that when heart rate spikes, men often become stonewalled or defensive. Attractive men train for these moments. They name their state accurately. I feel tension rising. And down-regulate quickly. Breath low and slow. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Lower your voice. Never raise it. Pause. Ask a clarifying question before asserting your position. What part of that bothered you most? The principle is simple. Be the calmest person in the room when it matters. Esther Perel's work on erotic intelligence also points to this polarity. Eroticism needs mystery and distance, but trust requires vulnerability and responsibility. Emotional leadership means you don't outsource your mood to someone else's attitude. You validate feelings without adopting them. You set the tone by modeling the behavior you want mirrored back. In practice, that looks like clean accountability. I missed the mark here. That's on me. I'll fix it. It looks like stable expectations. I don't do jealousy spirals. If there's a concern, tell me directly. And it looks like confident boundaries. I'm not available for insults. If we disagree, we'll keep it respectful, or we'll pause and revisit this tomorrow. You are not avoiding conflict, you are framing it so connection survives it. Rule 6. Standards and screening. David Buss has shown repeatedly that mate choice is a two-way evaluation under uncertainty. The attractive man is not auditioning, he is interviewing. This is not arrogance, it is responsibility. You are screening for kindness, reciprocity, self-awareness, emotional regulation, curiosity, and alignment in lifestyle. You communicate expectations early, not after attachment forms. Say what you mean without edge. I value honesty over comfort. If you're upset, I'd rather you tell me than pull away. I don't tolerate contempt, sarcasm as a weapon, or silent treatment. I'm growth-oriented. I'm attracted to women who take ownership of their lives. Notice the shift? You are signaling identity and filtering behavior. Mark Manson's point in Models is that neediness is the antithesis of attraction. Screening dissolves neediness because it reminds you that you are also choosing. And when you actually walk away from misalignment quickly and kindly, you send two messages. To her, that you respect both of you enough not to force a fit, and to yourself, that your standards are real. Rule 7. Congruent desire expressed with respect. Attraction isn't built on neutrality, it's built on polarity, masculine direction meeting feminine receptivity. That does not mean you become overbearing or entitled. It means you lead moments and invite participation. You don't hide your interest behind sarcasm. You also don't dump intensity onto a lukewarm situation. Congruence means your words, tone, and body language align. If you're interested, your eye contact lingers. Your smile is real. Your voice is slow and grounded. Your compliments are specific and sparse. Your touch, when appropriate and consensual, is brief, light, and placed where it can easily be declined without awkwardness. You introduce tension without pressure, and you release it with humor. When you ask someone out, you give a clear plan and a clear out. I'm free Thursday at 7. There's a place with great jazz and quiet corners. If that's not your vibe, no problem. This communicates two crucial signals. I want you, and I'm okay if you say no. Over time, congruent desire becomes your signature. You're not pretending to be disinterested, you're interested without being controlled by the outcome. Now let's operationalize these rules with behaviors that create immediate shifts in how you're perceived. First, physicality. Your body is the billboard for your beliefs. Strength training twice per week minimum. Compound lifts, squat, hinge, push, pull, sprint or carry heavy things once a week. Zone 2 cardio for endurance. Why? Because testosterone and energy levels shape mood and presence, and because posture, gait, and breath are clearer when your body is trained. Your wardrobe communicates categories. Fit, fabric, function. Fit beats price. Neutral palettes, fewer logos, clean shoes, a single watch you love, grooming tight, clean nails, clean neck, moisturizer, sunscreen. Keep a signature scent, but use one spray less than you think. None of this is vanity. It's competence. It says, I care about details, you will be safe with me. The goal is not to look like someone else. The goal is to look like the sharpest, calmest version of you. Second, voice and language. Deepen your breath, and your voice will follow. When you speak, imagine your words landing on the person's shoulder rather than being fired at their face. Use short sentences for key ideas. Avoid rising intonation that turns statements into questions. Replace vague, approval-seeking phrases with definitive ones. Instead of, is that okay? Use, does that work for you? Instead of, sorry for the long message, use, here's the short version. Instead of, I don't know if you'd be into this, use, here's what I have in mind. Your language frames your status. Confident men remove disclaimers and add clarity. Third, attention management. Dopamine discipline is non-negotiable. Constant novelty reduces your capacity to feel excitement in real interactions. Create friction between you and your phone. Grayscale your screen. Remove social apps from your home screen. Establish 2 windows a day for messages. Protect the first 90 minutes of your morning for deep work or training. Give yourself a dopamine fast 1 day a week. No junk food, no scrolling, no porn, no mindless entertainment. You're teaching your brain to feel fully alive in ordinary moments. That's where connection becomes electric again. Eye contact, playfulness, the silence between words. When your nervous system is not fried, your presence becomes potent. Fourth, boundaries and reciprocity. Think of boundaries as the upstream protection of downstream desire. The reason many men feel resentful in dating is not because they're inherently bitter. It's because they have fuzzy boundaries and then blame others for crossing lines they never defined. Attractive men set boundaries as service, not punishment. I don't chase. If you're interested, match my effort. I keep my word. If we plan something, I show up on time. I expect the same. I don't reward unpredictable behavior with more attention. When someone violates a boundary, you don't deliver a lecture, you change access. This is Cialdini's consistency principle inverted. You become consistent to your standards, not to someone else's ups and downs. Simultaneously, practice proactive generosity. Tip well. Send the text confirming plans the day before. Walk on the curbside of the sidewalk. Offer your jacket without making a show of it. These gestures communicate competence and care. The balance is what matters. Strong spine, warm heart. Fifth, flirtation and play. Flirtation is the art of mixing honesty with playfulness. You amplify small contrasts and leave room for imagination. Compliments are specific and occasional. That color is working hard for you. Teasing is gentle and rooted in observation, not insult. You strike me as someone who alphabetizes your spice rack. When you disagree, you hold the frame without aggression. I get your point. I still see it differently. Humor is a pressure valve. Shared laughter is a faster intimacy builder than shared trauma in early stages. Remember Gottman's data. Couples that laugh together regulate better during conflict. In early attraction, laughter is evidence of compatible rhythm. Sixth, logistics and decisiveness. Indecision is the enemy of desire. Attractive men reduce friction. Choose venues with conversation-friendly acoustics, seating geometry that allows closeness without pressure, and lighting that flatters. Early in the interaction, keep plans short and modular. A coffee that can turn into a walk that can turn into a drink. Offer 2 time slots. Let her select. When it's time to end, end. Momentum beats marathons. This is simple game theory. Leave while things are good, and you create an appetite for more. You're not withholding, you're pacing. When you do plan something more elaborate, integrate novelty and comfort. Perel's polarity principle again. The brain craves surprise within safety. Seventh, reputation and integrity. Robert Cialdini's authority is not about titles, it's about track record. People talk. Your name becomes a summary of your patterns. Be the man who texts when he says he will, who pays when he offers to, who keeps confidences, who exits cleanly when it's not a fit, who never speaks badly of past partners, who owns his mistakes without theatrics, who does not brag, but whose life implies the story. Authority built this way is slow to build and hard to break. It magnetizes the kind of people who value depth. You'll notice something interesting when you live like this. The quality of your matches improves while the quantity may temporarily dip. That's a filter working in your favor. Trust it. Now, let's install these rules into your week so they're not motivational noise, but concrete behaviors. On Sunday night, set 3 commitments: body-brain bond. Body, the physical challenge that will demand your best this week. 2 heavy lifts and 1 sprint session, scheduled, non-negotiable. Brain, the deep work block tied to your craft. 90 minutes per day, phone off, door closed. Bond, the social touch points you will initiate. 2 genuine messages to people you respect and want to see win, and 1 clean approach during the week where you express interest directly and accept the outcome with grace. Couple this with attention hygiene, 2 check-in windows for texts, 10 minutes each. Everything else waits. Put your outfits for key days on hangers the night before. Lay out your gym bag. Prepare 1 high-protein meal you can default to. Pre-book 1 cultural activity every 2 weeks that expands your palette. Gallery, jazz, talk, anything that feeds your inner world. You're stacking identity evidence. Each small win whispers to your brain, I am a man who leads his life. That whisper becomes your baseline. Others will hear it in your silence. Let's tighten nonverbal mastery further. Eye contact is contextual. While listening, hold eye contact about 70% of the time, break with a slow nod, and return. While speaking, anchor your gaze, glance away briefly to think, and return to punctuate. Smile primarily with your eyes and a minimal lift at the corners of your lips. Over-smiling reads as placating. Mirroring is natural when connection exists. Force nothing. Touch, when invited by context and consent, should be light, brief, and shoulder-focused initially. If in doubt, don't. Your calibration is what makes your boldness safe. Let's refine conversational structure. Open with environment-based observations or direct honesty. Move to curiosity. Ask open questions that invite stories, not resumes. Layer your questions. What made you choose that? Follow with a statement of perspective that reveals your values. I care about people who make deliberate choices. Share a concise piece of yourself, one sentence that hints at depth without exposition. Then pass the conversational ball back. How do you think about that? This rhythm, observe, invite, reveal, return, creates flow without you monologuing. Remember, an attractive man's goal isn't to be interesting, it's to be interested and directional. Talk enough to show texture, listen enough to show presence, lead enough to show intent. If you've ever felt frustrated by mixed signals, this next part will save you months of confusion. Stop decoding words without context. Watch investment. Investment is the currency of real interest. Does she ask questions back? Does she remember details? Does she suggest times or alternatives when busy? Does she reply with substance, not just emoji? Does she make eye contact and angle her body toward you? Does she laugh easily with you? Is there light compliance with small suggestions? This is the backbone of calibration. If the answer is mostly yes, lean in slightly. If it's mostly no, lean out respectfully. Don't punish low investment, just stop feeding it. You're not teaching lessons. You're aligning behavior with reality. This alone will eliminate most of your anxious loops because your actions stop outrunning the data. Let's address tests and tension. Humans test. It's not malicious, it's informational. A tease about your height, a joke about your outfit, a late reply, a move to make you chase. These are not emergencies, they are data points. Attractive men metabolize tests calmly. If teased, you smile and amplify playfully. I'll allow it. If your boundary is crossed, you state it once and change access. If replies slow down, you mirror pace while keeping your life full. If someone tries to escalate drama, you de-escalate with clarity. I don't do arguments by text. If you want to talk, call me tonight. If not, let's pick this up another time. Your calm is not indifference, it's leadership. You decide how you will be treated, and you enforce that decision with actions, not essays. Confidence without humility is brittle. Humility without confidence is invisible. You need both. The Stoics were confident in their capacity to endure and humble about what they couldn't control. Adopt the dichotomy of control. Your effort, your standards, your integrity. Yours. Their mood, their history, their perception of your worth, not yours. This frees you to show up fully and let go of what was never in your hands. It dissolves resentment and replaces it with discernment. From that state, rejection stops feeling like a verdict and starts feeling like a redirection. You're not everyone's man, and that's evidence that you have a spine. Sexual polarity deserves a sober word. Desire is ethical when it honors autonomy. Consent is enthusiastic or it's not consent. The attractive man is turned on by yes and turned off by maybe. He never leverages alcohol, pressure, or social debt to push things forward. He prefers clarity to conquest. This is not virtue signaling, it's long-term strategy. Trust accumulates when your desire is clean, and counterintuitively, clean desire is hotter because it's safe. Safety allows both people to take more authentic risks. You will notice your conversations compress when you live by these rules. Less small talk, faster clarity. They either move forward or they don't. Your calendar feels lighter, your training feels heavier, your focus sharpens, your humor loosens. You'll also notice an internal shift. Your self-respect stops being conditional. You respect yourself on lonely nights and noisy weekends. Your identity moves from a man trying to be attractive to an attractive man because of how he behaves when nobody is watching. That distinction changes everything. Let's close by etching the 7 rules into muscle memory with one-liners you can recall under pressure. Self-command before connection. Slow breath, open chest, speak last. Value dense life. Schedule decides your status. Selective availability. Warm when present, unreachable when absent. Calibrated boldness. Initiate cleanly, adjust quickly. Emotional leadership. Be the calmest nervous system in the room. Standards and screening. You are interviewing, not auditioning. Congruent desire. Want openly, release outcomes. If you repeat these like a creed, your decisions simplify. If a behavior breaks one rule, you'll feel it. If a choice honors all 7, you'll feel that too. From Buss to Cialdini, from Gottman to Perel, from the Stoics to modern behavioral science, the evidence converges on the same portrait. The attractive man is not loud. He is precise. He is not perfect. He is consistent. He is not desperate. He is directed. He is not cruel. He is clear. He does not chase. He chooses. Build that man every morning with the way you stand, the way you breathe, the way you plan your day, the way you say no, the way you laugh, the way you end a night while the energy is still high. Let your silence carry weight. Your words set frames. Your actions write your reputation. And your attention remain the scarcest and most generous thing you own. When you live by these 7 rules, attraction stops being a project and becomes the natural side effect of a life that feels phenomenal from the inside out.